Sports to the bone family. What's up? What's up? Welcome back, my viewers and my subscribers. Welcome back to another live show. Hope you guys are doing okay. Yes, my peeps. So we are here once again. CPL 2022 is done and dusted, but we still have quite a few things to talk about where West Indies cricket is concerned. As you might know, we are going to be playing a couple of T20s against Australia in Australia. As a matter of fact, the first T20 game of that two-match series will be played this Wednesday, right? So the first one will be played this Wednesday, and the guys are already there based on what I'm gathering, maybe one or two, not there as yet. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of players that, were not listed in the West Indies World Cup squad that probably should be invited to that tour. We know that once there's no injury or anything, then all the players that were listed to go to the World Cup should be there in that squad there, or should be a part of that series. So all the players that are expected to play in the World Cup should be a part of that series against Australia. So the big question now is, who are the players that were not listed in the World Cup squad that you think did enough in the CPL to really get a chance to be either a part of the reserve or to get another chance in this series here to show what they are capable of. All right, unknown in the place. Blessings. How far you think we go, and will we get out of the group stage? Well, I am hoping that first things first, we can qualify. We can qualify for the final round. Remember, we're gonna have to play against a couple of the associate nations to qualify. So we want to get that out of the way first before we even talk about get down into the group stage and getting down there. We probably have enough. We probably have enough to really get past the teams that we are going to be playing against in the qualifying round. But never say never. Quite a few of these teams have players that are playing all over the world. Scotland, they have 2-3 players playing in league. So I could say blessings, Shell, and blessings. Unknown says, Andre Fletcher, what do you think? Fletcher wasn't too bad. He started off with CPL good, but remember, if they are selecting Fletcher, then they would probably be selecting him as a out-and-out batsman. So, and in my opinion, probably Shamar Brooks and Shea Hope, they might have these guys ahead of Fletcher, but Fletcher certainly did some work. We will win the World Cup easy, says Joes. All right, I hear you. Good night, Sports to the Bone. Hope all is good. Also, Alan Shepherd, Carnwall should be on the reserve list. All right, so Alan Shepherd and Carnwall. And I think they have about 4 spaces, and Cabby Trinidad is saying 3 out of those 4 spaces should go to Fabian Allen, Romario Shepherd, and Raheem Carnwall. Sheldon says Brooks and Hope. Can't knock that argument at all. Shamar Brooks and Shea Hope definitely showed some potential in the CPL as it relates to how they can go about playing T20. I was taking a look at the India versus South Africa game today, and I must say that I am not too sure if we are at that level. I mean, going into a World Cup, anything can happen, but it's going to be interesting to see if we are able to score, to regularly score 180, 190, and 200 and them type of score there. We see most teams, their batsmen getting into form going towards the World Cup, but we are still not too sure who are the informed batsmen that West Indies have going in. As soon as you come on, my viewers and subscribers, just go ahead and share the live. If you can share the live, drop a like on it, so the guys that that are not aware that we are live will get an opportunity to see that we are on, right? Because we're not going to be on for 3, 4, 5 hours tonight. The plan is to try and start going live every Sunday or every other Sunday, do at least a 1-hour show, right? And then when we get a chance, we can do watch-alongs in between. But I am trying to see if we can do it live at least each Sundays, at least for an hour, right? Try and fit it in while I do my regular work. Uchia says, apart from CPL, they did Miller dirty today. Apart from CPL, they did Miller dirty today. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I saw David Miller getting a century. Didn't watch it to the end, all the way to the end. So I'm not sure if something happened that I missed. Carrier should not be there. Let's see how it goes. Is unknown. All right. Joe say Allen should be a reserve. Congratulations to Jamaica Talawas. All right. Miller scored 106. Yet they gave Raul the man of the match because he made. Based on what they are doing these days, they tend to go with with a player from the team that actually won the game. So they tend to go with a player that dominated from the team that actually won the game. So that might be the reason as to why he was not selected as the man of the match. You understand? But it was definitely a good game, my peeps. It was definitely a good game. So coming out of the CPL now, guys. Coming out of the CPL, we are going straight into Australia. And the first game, as I said earlier, will be on Wednesday. I am just exploring. I am just asking, do we go straight ahead and use, should the selectors or the coach and the captain go ahead and use the playing 11 that they think they will be using in the World Cup? Should they go straight ahead and use those that playing 11 in both games against Australia, or do they take a look at a couple more players that they want to use in the reserves? I don't know, and I am just checking. Sachin says, I always hated that it's called man of the match, that man match, not man of the winning team. I can understand. I can understand what you're saying, Sachin. It's really tough to see a man dominate like that, making over 100 and had 50 or was it 40 or 50 deliveries, and somebody else get it that just make a half century. Ian Bishop would have given Miller the man of the match. All right. Yeah, so that is how the cricket is that is how they are doing it these days. So my thing now, my peeps, going into those two games against Australia, my opinion is that we try and get together playing 11. Don't worry about try and get a playing 11 together. Don't worry about the reserves and saying you want to give them more opportunity to play before you select the reserve. If the playing 11 is going to be, for example, going to be Lewis and Mayers, King, Poor and Heckmeyer, play that order in those two games. Give them a chance to play the role. Give them a chance to play the position that they are expected to play in the World Cup. Javid says, good night. Watch the Pakistan game. I didn't see the Pakistan game. I was looking at the South Africa game. I think they should go with the playing 11 they expect for the World Cup. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Brooks in form for Harry Brook in form for England nowadays. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking also, Sachin. So as I said, if they plan to go with Evan Lewis and Kyle Mayers at the top, Brandon King at 3, then I would suggest, then I would suggest that they go ahead and do it the same way. Give them an opportunity to play in those two games. No matter rotate and do no foolishness, but you're giving reserve people a chance. I will bat Brandon King and Mayers. Rest Lewis says unknown. Don't need to be rested. You don't need to rest him. He hasn't been doing anything. He's not tired. Unless you're not going to play him. Pakistan is the top. Pakistan is the top order. Is top order heavy. Rizwan and Babar feels that's it. Yeah, and those two guys, they have been performing extremely well over the last couple of months, and I think both of them failed in the game today. Right? I expect Lewis Mayers at the top, even though King was most had the most runs in the CPL, says Joe's probably yes. Can we get our top five sorted because Charles is in form? Powell noted that he wants to bat in the top five. Everybody want to bat in the top five. Everybody want to bat in the top five. So the fact that they have Evan Lewis in there, even though I think he did not take the fitness test and he did not score any runs, so I'm not too sure if they have him there to fill a space. I think they are going to give him a chance. They are going to give him playing time. So I think they might go Evan Lewis, Kyle Mears, Brandon King 3, Nicholas Pooran 4, Hetmeyer 5, and Powell 6. I think that could probably be the batting order. Mario said player strongest 11. I agree. I agree. From I saw Pakistan made 142 today. I knew that Rizwan and Baba didn't fire because Pakistan depend on them too much. Evan Lewis Mears. So all right, Joe say would go Lewis Mears, King Hetmeyer, Poor and Powell. Yeah, that is probably the closest that I would do it. Conflict who will be our openers. I personally would go with, as I said, I can't look past Evan Lewis and his record at the international level, averaging 32, I think 31 or 32, the highest average in the West Indies team for in T20s. But I'm not too sure what sort of form he's in, but I personally believe they're going to give him the first two games at the top of the order with Kyle Mayers, and then if it doesn't work, then they will move Brandon King from 3 and play him at the top. I say we rotate the team. You never know who might get injured, so let's rotate the players. Yeah, but I mean, all right. Javid is saying rotate the players in the. I think he's talking about the two games in Australia, but people going into the squad already know the role that they are going to play now. So those are the two last games that we're actually going to play before the World Cup. So I personally would say go with the best team and then see where you go from there. But I hear you. How about our young players? Yeah, man, I spoke about a couple of the young players that I would definitely zoom in on if I was a part of CWI. People like Jaden Carmichael, people like Matthew Ford, Raymond Simmons, Junior Sinclair, and a couple more of them that didn't do too badly. The wicket in Australia won't suit spin but pace. Yannick won't get much play because Hussein would be the main spinner playing most. All right, I hear you, Cabby. Poor and 27 already time flying. Yep. Just the other day we were talking about Poor and being a youngster, being 24, 25. Today is his birthday. Shout out to Puran. Man is 27 already. Career going fast. I would start with Charles over Lewis based on merit, says Uchia. All right. And I couldn't even knock you on that. If Lewis doesn't score in this two game, what do we do then? But I don't know, because the fact that they have him in the game there in the squad, I don't even trust these people. Just to think him and Baba are just months apart in age, but universe apart in their cricket is just wild. Oh yes. I think Marnus Lamashane is also probably 27, maybe 28 now. Maybe he just turned 28. The pitch will suit spinner, but not like an Indian pitch. We're going to get a lot of bungs. Should we play our strongest 11 in group stage against the lower ranked team? Play the team and try and win and build momentum. There is no telling that those teams are not strong enough to beat our so-called weaker side. I would say go with the team, with the best team. If Lewis fail, but the other do good or all fail. If Lewis fail, but the other do good or All fail. Personally I will go Lewis, Mayers, and King, says Mario. Not bad. King and Mayers for the first two games. John Gotti. even, even Lewis no fi start unless Charles or Mayers injured, says John Gotti. All right, I hear you. Javid, we are playing in Australia. Spinner get whipped in Australia unless your name is Shane One. I mean, some of the spinners, them especially the taller spinners, they might get some good bounce and not no big turning about, so even though we win with a playing 11, let's switch it up so they can get a feel for Australia pitch, says Javid. All right, I hear you. Lewis and Puran will produce in Australia, says Sheldon. Of course, the two Trinidadian going to produce. You mean? Um, much rather pace pitch than spin pitch, says Joes. Sheldon hope so because they didn't do anything for this past month. Birthday greetings to the skipper Puran. Yeah, man, we already big up Puran. Puran has done good for West Indies. Do you think you will do good in the T20 World Cup? Sports Not 129. Based on how the team is playing, no, I am not too confident. But I'm definitely hoping that we'll get things together. Sports to the Bone. When does the regional 50 over cricket start? Somebody remind me when that will start. 91. The 91 versus New Zealand. 70 versus Bangladesh in India. Look good until they get run out. All right. So Australia pitch should suit West Indies. Innings in about 20 tries. All right. Cedric say big what's up. Blessings. Javid says it's about momentum. It helped JT a lot in the CPL, so we should have some momentum going into the Super 12. That's why I'm thinking, hoping that we would be able to go out there in those qualifiers, get them out of the way, get a couple of victories under our belt, and see where we go from there. You understand? All right. West Indies #1 team. I go struggle to beat West Indies #1 team. I go struggle to beat Ireland and Zimbabwe. Remember, Zimbabwe just beat Australia in Australia. Yep. So that's why I'm saying I'm not too sure if playing a so-called or a quote-unquote weaker team is the best decision going into the qualifiers. Play the strong team, try and gather some momentum going into the next round. So New Zealand, all right. Isn't the top three isn't he top 3 run scorer for T20 since last year World Cup? I mean, where T20 international cricket is concerned, Puran hasn't done extremely bad. It's just that over the last couple of games, he has actually had a poor run. But prior to that, he was going very good. Had, I think, about 3 half centuries against India and a couple more. So, Joe says he scored 130 runs in India series, and then after that he fell off. Says Sachin. Yeah, he had a couple of half centuries, and thing saddens me to see that lots of big names didn't do a thing in CPL, especially TKR. And that is the thing, that is what they are, big names. That is why I always say that people should be selected based off merit. Because going into the CPL, people would have suggested that they were going to dominate. Cedric says, I think we can come out of the first stage, but I am waiting to see how they play against Australia. Yeah, man. If we play good, consistent, good cricket based on the talents that we have in the squad, we should make it through. But knowing how our guys are, plus, as I said, if you look at Zimbabwe, Ireland, and these teams, Scotland, they have a couple of players that are always in and around playing on the T20 circuit. So if 2 3 of these guys come together and perform well on a given day and West Indies slip up, who to tell you how it might go. Sheldon says if Lewis and Puran don't strike form, we would not be winning many matches in the Super 12 because of their high strike rate. Yeah, and those are two of the specialist batsmen that are expected to do so. So Puran and Lewis would be there. So the only other two specialists that would be missing that in my playing 11 would have been Hetmeyer and Powell. So, you know, Hetmeyer and Powell will have to do equally as good as those two that you just mentioned. Mr. Lover say, congrats, Talawas, lucky. Joe says Sachin and Sheldon the same. Only difference is Sachin hate and Poor and Sheldon hate and Hetmeyer. Charles and King should open the batting because them both in good form. Also, Mayers and Lewis is not in good form right now. Kyle Mayers, Cabby, were you watching the CPL? Cabby says Charles and King should open, but Kyle Mayers wasn't not in good form. I mean, the last couple of games, T20 last couple of CPL games in the Guyana League, he didn't do too well, but I think he has done enough to really establish himself up there, man. And we will win the first stage and do a couple of upsets in the Super 12, says Javid. Sachin says poor and last 9 T20 innings, 115, 3, 24, 22, 14, 18, 74, and 34. That we definitely want to see improving going into the World Cup. Yeah. Joe said do check for Kings last 5. Our 9 last 9. And hit his last 9 also. Do you think the day will come when ICC will introduce a T10 World Cup? This is my take on it. Where T10 cricket is concerned, I think this is probably going to be the last, let us say the smallest amount of over that ICC might eventually go to. And my reason for saying this is, they are probably going to be looking to get into the Olympics, right? It might sound strange, but when when T20 cricket came around, that's why they were definitely looking for a shorter version to try and get it into the Olympics. So T10 might be something that they might look at eventually to see. All right, not only will T10 cricket be played at the franchise level or at the club level, but we're going to play it in international cricket also because, we want to see if we can get a spot in the Olympic. Javid Hetmeyer has like 250s in the last 9. All right, Uchi, I know maybe if cricket goes to the Olympics. That's it. That's the thing. When T20 cricket was coming out, that's one of the things that they were talking about. Javid Hetty only played 80-20 this year. I know you're trying to compare Hetty and Puran, but you can't. One man played the entire year, the other has played 8. And that is the thing, guys. That is the thing. You guys saw how competitive I was and how much I was, quote unquote, against the other teams when we had the CPL, right? I was Jamaica Talawas through and through. But CPL is finished now. We're not doing regional cricket, West Indies cricket. So, as I always say, I couldn't care less who made the runs for West Indies once the team wins. So I know people still going to be comparing between Poor and Hetmeyer, as we see in the comment section here. But the time that I quote unquote fight against the other islands would be in CPL or regional cricket, when I am definitely supporting the Talawas. But when it comes on to West Indies cricket, man, I couldn't care less if it's a Guyanese, a Trinidad, and a Jamaican, or somebody from St. Lucia make the runs. I just want to know the team win. I couldn't care less. But I'm not playing cricket anymore. Josh, definitely, but you would find that Nkrumah Bana is a specialist test player right now for West Indies, and there's no test cricket going on. So we are hoping that he's actively engaged as it relates to doing some work. What cricket you're watching? Bro? Well, I think he's probably talking about another player. Josh, no, yeah, no test cricket until November. Myers doing the work. Yep. Myers can swing the ball. Yeah, so that is the thing, my viewers and subscribers. What we should be looking at now is the best 11 players. Doesn't matter who, what part of the this is just my way of thinking still, you know. Some people are patriotic and passionate about their country, so they want to see their players in the team, whether or not they can make the team. I personally know that as we speak, the only two Jamaicans can make that team is Brandon King and Ralph Powell. So I not going put out I not going put up any protest for a couple of the Jamaicans that I want in the team. And I think this is one of the main things that is killing the game the West Indies cricket. But do you foresee T10 destroying international cricket, as there are three formats and the ICC can balance fixtures schedules to benefit all teams? That's definitely a good question. It's a possibility, and I mean, don't be too surprised if the T10 comes in and you say ODI cricket phase out. Don't be too surprised if when they start focusing on T10 cricket, they say ODI phase out. Not saying that I want that to happen, and I like watching the longer formats of cricket, but you know, in trying to get the game more popular, you know, that is something that they're probably going to want to do, because as much as we are from the Caribbean or from regions that play cricket, quite a few people don't have a clue on name what is cricket, you know. You understand? So that is something that ICC will be tasked with also, to try and grow the sport, to try and see if they can get it into the Olympics. Because I mean, even here where I am at now, a couple of times I'm talking to people and we're talking about sports, and they would say, what sport you played? And when I say cricket, the only thing they can say is that similar to baseball, is that similar to this. So, you know, that is one of the things that ICC's has tasked some of the members with, to try and do. That they will play Catchwell most likely, so open with Catchwell, then Mayers, or other way around. Can't find Brandon exact innings, but this year he has 366 runs in 13 innings. Mr. Sports to the Bone, who should open the batting? Because we have 4 opener. The coach gonna get a big headache picking who opened the batting. Well, I mean, the coach and the selectors wanted that headache because they went and picked someone that was not playing any form of cricket for the West Indies, did not do the fitness test, did not do anything at all to get in the squad. So obviously they want that headache. And having Lewis in the squad, who is one of my, you know, I like Lewis as a player, so this is not me knocking him. And looking at his average and how he usually performs at the international games, it's very difficult to look past him. So I personally would go Kyle Mayers and Evan Lewis right now, and then I would drop Brandon King at number 3, probably get Pooran at 4, Hetty at 5, and Powell coming in at 6. So that is maybe how I would do it. But you know, as I said, I am just a chair expert. If Pooran don't use Mayers more in the power play, it will be one of the biggest mistakes ever, says Sachin. All right, Jaden says, good night, everyone. What did I miss? Well, you missed almost 30 minutes of the show already, and we're just going for an hour. So for those who came on late, guys, the idea is for me to try and go live at least every Sunday or every other Sunday. And when I can, I will do a watch along when games are when we're having the games, right? So this is how I have to try and do it, to balance it with my actual work. So on Sundays, I will try to see if I can do a live show every Sunday or every other Sunday. And then the regular videos will come every day. And when the games are going on, I will try to do a watch along once I am not at work. So this is the first of the 1 hour Sunday show, guys. We're trying to do at least that. So those who are coming on late, you missed 30 minutes of the show, basically. Sports to the Bone. You and I are friends. We both love Test cricket than anything. Yeah, Test cricket is the ultimate, as the name says, Test. And you know, you get a chance to see a player and really see what that player is made of. Only 2 matches versus Australia. So is the squad just the World Cup squad? That's one of the things. That's one of the first questions that I asked when I came on Supernova. Are we going to just use the World Cup squad, or are we going to invite a couple of players that did well in the CPL that are not in the World Cup squad that might make the reserve team. How are they going to do it? I personally, if everybody in the World Cup squad should be there, and if they want to invite the reserve players, then no problem. But in terms of picking the team, I think that whoever they think in their mind is going to be there playing 11 in the next couple of our weeks or so. I would go with them to start. Simon's not going to get any headache. He will play. His boy Lewis and Mears is guaranteed now as a strike opener. King and Mears in the first T20 and Lewis and Charles in the second. So you're changing it up, as you said, in order to give everybody a look at the pitch. Well, I personally would give people would stay with the same team if the team win. For the record, it was better for the West Indies that TKR did not make the playoffs, as the players and the team got some knockout experience. For the record, it was better for the West Indies that the TKR did not make the playoffs, as the players and the team got some knockout experience. West Indies can do well in the World Cup, but I have issues with Mr. Pooran leadership and the coaching team, says Francis. All right. Uchia says Mayers developing more swing. Mr. Pooran is not a mature leader. I mean, there's no way he could be a mature leader, because he just took over. If you're meant to say a natural leader, I could probably understand, but a mature leader would have had to have led for a little while. How about inform Charles, because we know Pooran won't keep wicket, so Charles in at 7 or 5. If Johnson Charles doesn't bat up in the top order, I am not using him. Nicholas Pooran has to keep. It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. Well, this is why Charles wouldn't necessarily get in on the basis of just keeping. It's a T20 game. I'm not just going to pick a keeper to bat at 7 and expect that he's going to get some runs based on his form. Batting at 7, generally speaking, you're supposed to only be facing three overs or 2 overs. So Nicholas Pooran needs to stop the foolishness and the coach. He needs to keep. So first thing, Nicholas Pooran needs to keep. That's why we need the experience, and Powell has to help Pooran. Well, he's the vice captain still, so he's definitely going to be chipping in. Javid is right. Give all players available a chance. This series has no meaning who wins or lose. Players need game time and need to get a hand, of the condition. But the problem though is Supernova is not a lot of games in the series. It's just like 2 games. So even if you rotate, each player just going to get 1 little game. You understand? And they might not even get a chance to bat in both games or bowl in both games. So if it was a 5-6 match series, then I could understand. So, but I hear you still. I hear you. People want Pooran to pull off Graham Smith, which transform a young team into a world-class team instantly. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. Just checking to see how you do after the Man U game. Jesus Christ. You notice I disappear halftime. Halftime I had to disappear, man. But we kind of all right now, man. I eat some rice and peas and stew chicken and kind of get back some energy. But halftime through the Manchester United game, I stop watching it at halftime. Pooran has to keep. I don't know if I trust Charles keeping. Yeah, the thing is, Johnson Charles is an okay keeper, My problem is, though, I don't want us picking Johnson Charles in the playing 11 and then having Pooran batting up the order and then Charles down the order and say, all right, he's in form. Let's bat him at 6-7. At that stage, we should be looking at the so-called power hitters in my book, at least. Kenra says, Sports to the Bone. Watch the squad for Australia series. Well, they haven't announced a squad. So I am thinking that they haven't announced a squad. So I am thinking that everybody that will be involved in the World Cup team will be everybody involved in the World Cup team would be there. Cedric says, Sports to the bone, where would you bat Kyle Mayers? Well, where he has been most successful for the West Indies and for his franchise team. Opening, he would definitely have to open. At this point, I would move him, put him to number 6, 5, or anywhere, like I see some people saying. Before the CPL, he played quite a few international games for the West Indies. He was always opening. Throughout the CPL, he was always opening. His runs, his runs, the runs are there to show. He's really an attacking batsman in the power play, so he definitely opens for me. Just to see again, guys. My problem is I know the quality that Evan Lewis will bring. I know the quality that Evan Lewis will bring, but it's just weird to see how he just got into the squad. The fact that he's in the squad and with his experience and all of that, if they are going to use him, then it would have to be Kyle Mayers and Evan Lewis opening. I know it's two left-handers and we don't get the right and left-hand combination, but then you would have Brandon King at 3, probably Pooran 4, Hetmeyer 5, or you can have Hetmeyer 4, Pooran 5, and then Powell coming in. I wonder if West Indies is going to use some the recently retired players as mentors, like India did with Dhoni. West Indies love copying everybody. The problem with that, though, Supernova, the issue with that is quite a few of our players and CWI are not, they probably did not part on good terms. Let's put it that way. So not to single out anybody, but the guys that you can say quote unquote dominated, the guys that you can quote unquote say dominated the T20 stage for West Indies over the last couple of years. Their last run, let us say they did not leave on good terms. For me, King and Mayers has to open in that first qualification match. Lewis hasn't played for West Indies in a year. Man gonna be rusty, and he did not do anything in the CPL. So that I can't knock you for that one at all. Brandon King in the middle order, then say Cedric. Now, when I say middle order, I know you have to remember that Pooran is there, Hetmeyer is there, and then Ravman Powell. So I think he's still going to be in the top order for me because, say for example, they open with Mayers and Lewis for argument's sake. Then unless you're going back Pooran at 3, and and then but Brandon King down. But I personally would go with him at 3. Supernova, your coach will play Lewis. He will not drop him. I personally believe that based off merit and all of that, those two guys that have been opening for us in the international games, and they have been the two best openers in the CPL. I think they should work with those two. I am more worried about the bowling than the batting, say Sheldon. The thing is that none of the batsmen Brandon King and Kyle Mayers there, and they are expected to do a good amount of the scoring, but two of the guys that we want, that we expect to score, they didn't really light up the CPL like what we would have wanted. Okay, we are speaking about T20, but what about the ODI World Cup next year? We're just trying to get over this line here first, and then we see where we go from there. Mr. Lover say it would be Mayers, King, Hetmeyer, Powell, Pooran, Reefer, Smith, Hussein, Joseph, Mackay, Cottrell. All right, tell you what I'm going to do, guys. The link is in the description below. So we are now 38 minutes in. So when we have like about probably 15 minutes or 10 minutes to go, I will open up the link and you can just go ahead and I will let everybody give their playing 11 that they would use. All right. So the playing 11 that you would use in the first 2 games those 2 games against Australia, and you will let us know why you're going to use that playing 11 and if it is the same playing 11 that you are going to use in the qualifier. Sports to the bone, I don't think the Trinidad spinner is a good pick for the World Cup squad. Why is Narayan still not available? I think he's talking about Yannick Correa. I guess those 2 games that he played against New Zealand, they saw something in him. And, they say it's always good to have a wrist spinner in T20 cricket. So I guess that is how we got in. Where Narayan is concerned, I'm not too sure if Narayan wants to play for West Indies or wants to play international cricket. Kevin D just reminding us that as you come into like up the live, All right. It is not batting at 3. It's more likely to bat at 7 or 8 with this coach and coaching staff. King did good when he opened. Yeah, I am thinking about if West Indies team will be like Trinidad and Tobago team, too much of good players. But no, we don't have that. We don't have that at all. We no 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 no. Mm-mm. We don't have too much good players to go in the World Cup and flop. If we go in the World Cup and flop, it's just the same inconsistent cricketers doing the same thing over and over against some good players. People need to remember that Hetty just come back after being out as long as Lewis, but the difference is that he did the right thing to get back into the team. You know, that is the difference. He did the right thing to get back into the team and he was playing franchise cricket. Evan Lewis was out injured. So that's the difference. That is why that is why a lot of persons not going to just throw back Lewis in the team when you're comparing him with Hetmeyer because Lewis did not get back in the team the right way. Shimron Hetmeyer was blacklisted until he did what they wanted him to do to get back in. And he was still playing franchise cricket and dominating. So that's a difference. King Mayors, Charles Reefer, only batters are in form. All right. Sheldon Lewis played 0 matches. At least Hetmeyer played 8 games. Yeah, that's a different. Plus, remember in the IPL, Hetmeyer was a regular right throughout leading up to the CPL and not so much with Evan Lewis. Mayors, King, Pooran, Powell, Hetmeyer, Smith, Hola, Hussein, Joseph, McCoy, and Karaya. That probably look like the playing 11. If West Indies do bad in the T20 World Cup, could Simmons be out and Chandopal and Ambrose come in as coach? Maybe not so quick. Maybe those two, I mean, they are not going to be coming in to fix the problem. See, I think maybe give them. I'm not too sure if those two guys they can just put them in the role right away. That is probably not ideal, probably. All right. Charles can play as a pure batsman only. He will take Yannick's spot because it only available spot. Or I may be wrong. What you playing 11, Mr. Sports to the bone. Also, don't think West Indies playing 2 spinner. I think we're going to play 2 spinners. That is the thing. I think Akil Hussein definitely plays, and I think they're going to play Yannick Carrier. Mackay not bowling well at all. Cottrell can find swing. Says Cedric. Yeah. Mackay has definitely fallen off in over in the last couple of games. Cottrell now, as you said, he's usually good up front. The major concern is usually when he comes back to bowl those next 2 overs. Generally speaking, he would get you like a wicket or 2 in the power play with his first 2 overs. Go for something like probably pick a wicket for 20 runs, but the next 2 overs, he might go for like 30 or something like that, which end up with figures of probably 50 of the 4 overs. You understand? So that is it. That is the thing. All right, I see a couple of persons a couple of persons waiting to come on. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just going to read these comments real quickly, and then we go down into the letting you guys on. I am really happy Jamaica team win the CPL without 2 of the big names, says Lal. All right. Mayors, Lewis, King, Poor, and Hetmeyer. Powell, Hola, Smith, Hussein, Joseph, Mackay, Sashin going. All right. Hey, bro. Great job. Blessings. Thanks for the support. Did Lewis pass a fitness test? Did Lewis take a fitness test? Hetmeyer and Poor need to bat 3 and 4. That is something that we have been preaching. The difference is that Brandon King is there now, and if they don't open with him because they want to use Lewis, he will have to bat at 3. Sports the boy Yannick Carrier has done well in the CBT Festival back-to-back hat tricks and a half century. Yeah, I can. All right, Javid, I hear you. Mayors, King, Poor, and Hetty, Powell, Smith, Ola, Joseph, Hussein, Mackay. My team missing a player, feel like spinning. All-rounder is missing, but I still don't trust Carrier in T20s. I don't trust him, but he's definitely going to be the man to get that spot. The other teams, England, India, Australia, Pakistan, such are making 200 plus right now in their warm-up matches. West Indies can't do that. Powell at 5. All right. Cedric says Lewis is a player for the big occasion, like Usain Bolt. King Mayers. All right. Then Puran and Hetmyer. Powell. All right. I need someone in the comment section to answer me. Did Lewis pass a fitness test? I'm not even sure if he even did one. Smith bat at 6 and all at 7. Who would you have bowled last 2 overs in the matches? It all depends on how the game is going, man, and how the bowlers are bowling. Maka is the top 5 CPL wicket taker though. All right. Maka is top 5 CPL. And I have to double check Hussein 8 and Joseph 9. My playing 11 Mayors, King Puran, Hetmyer, Powell, Hola, Smith, Hussein, Karaya, Joseph, and McCoy says Jaden. Last 2 overs, that's very tricky, Joseph and McCoy. And then again, it depends on how the pitch is playing and how the players are playing on the day. If Yannick played there, no room for Charles, it's unfair because Charles in great form. Who will pick Mr. Sportsly Charles? Charles and Yannick Correa, they are not. You can't pick 2 of them. One would be playing as a spinner and one would be playing as a specialist batsman. So you can't those 2 you can't compare. If you're going to say Charles has to get into the team, then you have to be deciding between Evan Lewis, Ravman Powell, Kyle Mayers, and Brandon King. Those are the 4 players you have to decide with. If Yannick Correa gets in the team, he will be expected to bowl 4 overs, not Charles. Charles will be expected to bat. So you would have to compare him with those other guys. OJ said big Talawas. Are we carrying any injured players to the World Cup? Hopefully we don't do the same thing like the last one. How much World Cup you have to lose before the coach get fired? Anybody who believe that Lewis is not opening in the World Cup need to stay off the drugs. I hear you, Sheldon. You think we'll perform in the World Cup? The emotional side of me will say yes, but based on how we are playing and based on how I see the other teams playing, I doubt I think we're going to see the usual West Indies. When I say West Indies is two-faced, I get called a pro Guyanese, yet everything is happening right in front of our eyes, proving my point. OJ, we have to perform in the qualifying. All right, so I'm going to see who is on the thing now, so you can click to come on, guys. So we can hear your playing 11 and we can scrutinize the playing 11. Once again, for those who are coming on, this is a brand new show where we try to go live every Sunday at least for an hour. Persons that are coming in late, you need to remember we're trying to do it for an hour because you don't know it going on. We have to make sure that my actual work gets done. So we just squeezing in. Mr. Lover is on based on what I am seeing. All right, Mr. Lover, what say you with your playing 11 for the first T20 against Australia Wednesday?
Wednesday? My God.
Yeah, I think we play the first one Wednesday morning at 4.
Okay. My team is Myers, King, opening. Then I have Hetmyer, Arpuan at 3, followed by Weaver, and then whoever did not bat at 3, between Hetmyer and Puan bat at 5. Powell 6. I have Odin Smith or Jason Holder, one of those 2. Then Hussein, Joseph, McCoy, and either Cottrell or Karaya.
Yeah, that don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad at all. So that is the World Cup team or the team that you play in the first.
World Cup team.
Oh, and you want them to use that same team in the first game Wednesday.
That's the same team that will be used. The World Cup squad and the Australia squad is the same squad.
No man, I'm saying that's the squad. So I'm asking, do you want them to use the same playing 11 that you're going to use in the World Cup in these 2 games against Australia? Or are you giving other people are looking?
Use the same team.
All right, so the same playing 11.
All of injury, same 11.
And who are the players that you think that are not in the World Cup squad now that probably should get a chance in the reserve?
Fabian Allen, Shimmer Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still skeptical about the bowling department. I probably would work with what this guy name again now? Raymond Simmons.
Oh, the youngster.
And if I had to choose another spinner, it's tough, but I'd have to pick Morty.
Goodikish Moti. So another left arm spinner. All right. So no Juna Sinclair, no Jaden Carmichael, no Matthew Ford, none of those guys. Those are the guys that you would probably give a look for the playing 11. No Shea Hope. I'm not the playing 11, the reserve. No Shea Hope.
No. The only other guy as he can get into the World Cup squad, or reserve, I should say, would be Javier Royal.
Oh, Javier Royal. All right. All right. Sound good. Sheldon, is that you? Identify yourself in the comment section. Is that you, Sheldon? Because Sheldon just said that anybody that thinks Evan Lewis will not start needs to get off the drug.
And no, Evan Lewis did not do the fitness test as far as I know, up until the selection point. I don't know if he did it after that.
All right, so I haven't heard anything as it relates to that either. Yeah. Yes, Sheldon. What say you now?
Gone.
You just came off. Man, faster than you saying Bolt in a star. Someone say if Puran going to bowl, then you can play one extra batsman. No. We don't want to go down that road. That is the problem, We don't want to go down the road where we're going to start mix and match and say Puran going to give us a couple of overs. It's not ODI cricket where you can get away with it, Puran needs to be in the team as a specialist batsman that is going to keep also. We definitely not working with that one at all. Puran bowling a couple of overs. We don't want that. Just to try and fit in an extra batsman. So when he doesn't score now, we said that he at least he bowled.
Just a disclaimer. That's a disclaimer. Sheldon might hate me for this, but what if then give Ravman Powell the okay for captain and Puran?
Go again. What if who?
What if Ravman Powell captains the World Cup squad in figuratively? And on the sidelines.
Oh no, man, that definitely not going to happen because according to them, they have been building towards the World Cup since Puran took over. Hold on, let us mute until it's our time to talk, guys, so we can not hear too much feedback. Yeah. So that I'm not too sure if that would really make any sense because they were building towards the World Cup. Everybody has gotten used to Puran's leadership style, and as much as we haven't had much success under him, I am not too sure if that would make. I can't see the selectors doing any such madness as much as we know how they are. Yes, Sheldon, what say you now?
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, man, blessings.
Right. Well, my 11 is well known. Batting Lewis and Myers on top. King at 3. Hetty at 4. Puran at 5. Powell at 6. That is, then I come in with
probably Holder or audience.
Not even Holder. For me, batting Joseph and Hossain before Holder. Right? I think Holder need to get back some confidence, right?
But
although in the CPL I saw that they tried to bat him as high as number 4 to hold the innings together, but Holder needs some confidence. I really need Holder to concentrate on his bowling, right?
Yeah.
I really want Holder to concentrate on keeping the bowling attack together. As the most experienced part of the bowling attack, I need him to do the job that Dwayne Bravo was doing in terms of marshalling the bowlers.
Yeah.
That is what I need him to do, right? I don't really need runs from Holder. Once my top 6 fire, I don't really need any runs from anybody, right? I want to take a kind of Pakistan approach
Mm.
where my top three scoring most of my runs. By
That.
the time my
Mhm.
4, 5, and 6 coming in to up the run rate and put the finishing touches, right?
Mhm.
7, 8, and 9 is just in case of emergency,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So I really want holder to marshal my bowling attack because I feel my bowling is where things could fall apart for me. Because if you
Mhm.
notice of recent, side scoring 190 in the sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
West Indies not likely to score 190 to 200 very often. So my
Mhm.
bowling have to be on point, right?
Mhm.
Mr. Lover, I have no issue with Powell captain in the side if it is believed that the players would pull more for Powell than for Puran, because at times what happens is that we have some insularity within the thing.
Mhm.
Pollard didn't fully get the support of the players last World Cup, right? As
Mhm.
I didn't say that. The court said that. The court said the bowling coach told Simmons that after the first thing that we lost the team,
Maybe
right?
because, and why you think they lost the team? Do you think it has anything to do with how the coaching staff and the leadership group selected the team and how they handled the media going into the World Cup?
Um, Not necessarily, No, a lot of the quarreling, right,
Mm.
took place among ex-players and chair commentators and so on.
But
No,
that shouldn't have anything to do with the team.
we didn't handle the media any different than how us India handled the media. India
Mm.
literally told the media shut up and support the team.
Mm.
Right? We didn't handle the media any different. We picked a team and they asked for our support. They say, hey, the team already picked. Give us
No,
the support and
no,
let's
but
move on.
and that is it. That is the situation. That is the problem, Sheldon. When people watch cricket and understand cricket, they are always going to question things when they see things being done that you think that even though we are not in the selector's seat and we are not quote unquote experts, we watch a lot of cricket and we can see foolishness and we're going to call it out. So the problem was when the I don't know about Indian supporters, but my biggest problem was when these guys were asked to explain why certain players were selected to be a part of the squad, even though they were not doing anything and they were telling us to just shut up and support the team. That don't make any sense.
But at the same time, Warner didn't do anything in
I know
the
that he won
IPL
the World Cup, but that
to
does
the
not mean
extent
people should not question just the same.
but that's what I'm saying. So the
Mm.
only time we could have a post-mortem is after the person died. You don't do a post-mortem before and say, well, this gonna happen, that gonna happen, the other gonna happen. You don't know because
But
it might
plus,
become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
and these are the same guys that said the team will be selected on merit. And when people see team don't select on merit and go and do so and perform like that, people going to be so about it.
Yep. And now we select the team on merit. What the old head said.
I'm
Why
not.
Russell not going and so on.
No, man, I'm not. The people calling for Russell are just people that are emotional and not watching West Indies cricket. Well, let me not say that. I don't want to offend anybody like that. But I'm not too sure if the team was selected totally on merit.
Can I
Hold on,
interject here? Let me say this.
oh,
Why you have Russell in the squad if you have Odin Smith and Alzari Joseph who is showing good potential with the bat?
yeah, that man shouldn't be anywhere close to the squad, man. And I have had people telling me that they're going to unsubscribe and they call me fool and say I'm not from Jamaica because I'm saying this about Russell. But I couldn't care less. That man shouldn't be anywhere close to the squad, in my opinion. Having said that, though, I'm not too sure if the squad was totally selected on merit because Evan Lewis, one of my favorite players, the best in the squad in terms of average, should not have been anywhere close to the squad. he might go on and score a couple of half centuries and century and shame me. That is what I want. I want him to go and perform because in the end, I want the team to win, but I'm still going to call out certain decisions. That man should not have been anywhere close to the team. Yannick Correa did not do anything to get in the team either. He's a leg spinner, and we know how dangerous leg spinners can be in T20 cricket. But this is my argument. It's the same thing. We know how leg spinners can be dangerous, but my argument with Hayden Walsh is concerned, I'm always saying that I prefer a spinner that is a half spinner, a left arm spinner that is accurate than a leg spinner that can bowl accurately. It's the same thing for Yannick Correa. I'm not too sure if he did enough within a World Cup year to just get selected in a team like that. So to say the team was totally selected on merit, I'm not too sure how we would explain that. I mean, majority of the players there, you can say was selected on merit. So I can probably give you that. I can't say the team was selected on merit because not everybody will be selected based on what we would want. So I don't know, Star.
I think that Haynes used his pick. The coach had a pick, and he used his wild card pick and picked Yannick. That's the only thing I could see.
Yeah, they're going
because there's no other reason to justify.
Yeah, there's no. As I said, Sheldon, I can see the reasoning behind it. A leg spinner going in that knows his cricket, that probably going to show control. They're hoping, but what he did in an ODI game is different from a T20 game. How batsmen approach ODI, they will approach T20 different. So, I can't back them on that one at all. We're going to circle and come back to you, Sheldon. I think Marlon is on. Let us hear you, Marlon. Yeah, you're hearing us, Marlon? No, we're just hearing a lot of feedback in Marlon's mic. We're not hearing him at all. Hearing a lot of feedback. Yeah. All right, so we can circle and come back. We're not hearing Marlon. What anything you have to say, Mr. Lover, then we'll hear Sheldon again. Because we're not hearing Marlon.
Okay. Let me just say why I believe Yannick Correa was selected for the World Cup over Hayden Walsh Jr. as a leg spinner. Okay. Looking at it, we're going back to Australia to play test match cricket, right? I believe they're working with Correa to see how he does in the World Cup on that same pitch.
Mr. Lover, man, nobody
listen, get him accustomed to the situation, like the conditions here, etc. That's my only.
Mr. Lover, that is a far reach, Mr. Lover. I don't know. So going, all right, listen, right throughout the year, all they have been building up towards. Hold on, let me mute your mic. I hear the feedback. All they have been building up is towards this World Cup. So you want to tell me that they would select one player with an eye on test cricket to see? Why Mr. Lover, easier, man. That's
the only other option. The only other reason I see.
All right, I hear you, my boss. I hear you. All right, Sheldon, what say you?
Yes, on that Lewis issue, I keep telling Ollie on the live that he made a mistake when he was saying that he got reports that Lewis wasn't interested and so on. He could not prove that. Lewis could have easily sent him a lawyer letter, and he had to, for loss of earnings, and he had to pay Lewis and them money, right? But other than that, what happened was them fellas and them put a certain amount of pressure on the
wait, who's them fellas?
Committee.
Who is them fellas?
Wait. They put some pressure on the selection committee, asking them, because you start hearing it through the commentary team, how could you go to the World Cup without your best player? Right? How are you going to justify that? Right? So, of course, I know, because remember, I was very confident on the live that Lewis was going to play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And men was laughing, right? Because I know what's going on, right?
Okay.
So that Of course, they had to have a meeting. And of course, Lewis would have said, okay, yes, I committed to West Indies cricket. And we move past that.
But everybody's saying they're committed to West Indies cricket, you know.
Of
Everybody's
course.
saying that. Why didn't they select Russell? Russell is committed to West Indies cricket also. Why didn't they select him?
Fabian Allen.
They didn't select Russell because Russell failed to perform.
Okay. I hear you. I hear
But Evan Lewis failed to perform too.
Wait,
Yeah,
Lewis was the winning captain for the 60th. You remember that? Lewis
I know all of that. You know, I am not advocating.
Right.
I hear you about the whole fact of the matter is nobody gets into the team if they can't comply and pass the fitness test and do all of that. The blacklist other players for that.
Let me ask you something. Who besides Hetty did a fitness test for the entire year?
Whenever
I think I heard information coming out that Sheffin did one also. But those were the two guys those were the three guys that they had a problem with. Those were the three guys that had a problem with, you know. And one decided not to do it and they just brought him back in the team.
Now remember, a fitness test is only good for 6 months, right? And if nobody besides those 2 or 3 did a fitness test for the year, everybody fitness test expire. That is why he could have confidently said that everybody need to do a fitness assessment.
But he will say that to try and cover it up, you know, but you have, remember saying, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be that general fitness test, you know. People are getting condition tests throughout while they are in camp. So they have a basic idea where players are at. If a man is not with the team and not doing anything at all, you don't know where his general conditioning is. But anyway, I hear you. He's there. He's in the squad. And as I said, if he plays, I want him to perform. I am not one of those players that think that because I personally did not want him in the team, he should not perform. I want him to perform and I want to win. That is my thing, you know. I want to win, you know. And it don't matter where the guy come from that let West Indies win. I want to win. That is what I want. So I just have a problem with the whole with how they do it still. But you know, let us see how they go about it.
Lennox, you can hear me?
Yeah, man, we can hear you now.
All right, so whenever you want to call on me now, feel free.
Yeah, you can go ahead, man. We just had Sheldon, so you can go ahead.
All right. Unlike most people, and a lot of people who have far more cricket knowledge than I do, I am not upset at Correa being in the squad. I am being honest. I am not. Personally, I kind of like it. The reason being, I don't get the fascination with Ian Walsh being in the team because I don't think we should select a specialist fielder. Cricket has no place for a specialist fielder.
I agree with that.
And in my opinion, that is what Ian Walsh will do, be a specialist fielder. I hear Faz and Sarandi and they're calling for him, but I just don't see it, Lennox. I'm being honest.
Yeah, he shouldn't be there now. Here's my question. I'm going to let you continue. But here's my question. Would you prefer to have 2 left arm spinners in Goody Kishmoti and Hussein who have been performing in the squad? Or would you prefer to have, as they have it now, Akil Hussein and Yannick Correa who hasn't played T20 cricket in a couple of years?
Well, personally, I would go for the wild card in Correa. Why? Because I saw something in the one-day series. Like the selectors, I saw something.
I saw it, you know, most persons saw it that he has good control and he understands his game, you know. It's just risky.
Far better than Ian Walsh. Well, I wouldn't say far better, but
he has more control than Walsh, man.
So I would give him a shot. Personally, the man might not even get a game. Let's be honest. Because there aren't many reasons to pay 2 spinners. There might be not many, but in my opinion, I like him being in the squad as opposed to Ian Walsh because the pick was probably between those 2. They are leg spinners and they somewhat offer the same things when it comes to the bowling. So I am not upset by that pick one bit. I share everybody's sentiments with Evan Lewis. I don't want to get that one at all.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a bit weird.
By no measure should Evan Lewis be in the squad based on form. based on his off the field shenanigans,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how Evan Lewis got in that team. And for the Andre Russells and the Fabian Allens, I don't think they should have been in the team either. So
I. Mm-hmm.
the one that really kind of off is Reef for what his name is, the Guyanese
Shepherd.
Sheppy. Yes, that one
Romari
is
Shepherd.
debatable. Yes, but I mean, Romari Shepherd couldn't defend 20 yard runs.
Yeah, he didn't do himself any justice in the last couple of T20 international games that he played, and then in the also in the franchise, he didn't do himself
Yes,
any justice at all.
none whatsoever. Like the man couldn't defend 20 something runs in a final over. Like,
Mm.
let's be realistic about it. So I think he probably deserves a place over Reefer because, but I mean, like I said, he didn't cover himself in any glory.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem with a lot of these with West Indies is where people don't cover themselves in any glory and then they get upset when they don't get selected.
Yep.
Like, you didn't separate yourself from the competition to the point where your selection is a must. Like Kyle Mayers. I mean, the entire Caribbean would be in an uproar if Kyle Mayers was in that squad.
We have to burn down CW. We have to burn down the place.
Like, but to be honest, the only reason why someone like Puran in the squad is that he's captain because the farm has been a little bit poor. Like, the farm is poor. Make no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, he's
Obed
not batting
Makai,
at all.
Obed picks himself in the squad, minus the recent blip in the radar. But a lot of them, they're not separating themselves. And
Mm.
when you don't separate yourself and there's a flip of a kind, I mean, the odds can go anywhere at any day.
Mm.
So that is my whole take on the squad.
All right. In terms of the reserve players, they haven't named them as yet. But when it comes on to hold on, let me mute you, Marlon. I'm going to ask the question and then unmute you so you can answer. In terms of the reserves, who are the four players that you would select? Would you go for a specialist batsman again, or would you look for a couple more specialist bowler? Bearing in mind that people like Brooks, Hope, Brooks, Hope, Romari Shepherd, Allen, all of these guys are there that weren't selected. Who are a couple of the players that you would go for in the reserve? And would you play them in the two games against Australia to basically seal your mind whether or not you want them in the reserve squad? All right, can go ahead.
All right, I wouldn't play them in the
In the
in the games. I wouldn't play them at all because, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're in the reserves, you could only come in the team if there's an injury.
yeah.
So there's no place for them to play because the chance of them playing is only up to an injury. I wouldn't play them. That aside, the players I would consider for reserve, Shamar Brooks has to be in there after the display, the recent display. I put Romari Shepherd in it. Moti would make it also, and I personally wouldn't carry Shehu because I think Johnson Charles. Personally, I think Puran should be the keeper. I don't
Easy.
I don't understand why nowadays when wicket keepers get captain, especially in limited overs, they want to now be in the outfield as opposed to the wicket keeper. It makes no sense.
Them need to stop the foolishness.
Like I see Josh Portland doing the same thing for England. Like
The difference is that England, some of the other teams, they actually have keepers that can make the team as batsmen. So if you have a keeper that is very agile, you can utilize him in the field.
Like Mitchell Lennox, I don't think Devon Thomas should have been in those games that they had him as keeper. Like, you look at the man strike rate in the CPL, it's little over 100. And the man barely striking over a runner ball. And you're gonna put him in as a keeper because Puran wants to be in the outfield.
Yeah,
you're hurting the team when you do that.
That is foolishness. As I said, Puran should be playing as a batsman that I is going to keep. So that shouldn't even be. I hope I don't see they do any foolishness like that. They not do that, man. Puran definitely should be keeping.
So you see my rationale with Puran being the first choice keeper. I would have Johnson Charles in the squad as probably the second choice keeper. So I wouldn't see any place for Hope. So I wouldn't carry Sheho. And I don't know where the other two players would come from, two players would come from the reserves, but I would lock in Brooks, Shepherd, and Moti. other
Would
two could come from
would
elsewhere.
yeah, would you give any of the youngsters are looking? There is
Probably
this
probably
young
Terry
guy,
Simmons.
yeah, Raymond Simmons. He didn't look too bad. Um, there's this other guy that was bowling for Barbie. Was it Barbie or not Barbie? There's Matthew Ford, I think.
Or you could carry Junior Sinclair.
Yeah, and Junior Sinclair. Hmm.
So probably those two are as
What about
youngsters
Javier Royal?
acclimated with
Yeah, and
with the
Mr. Lover
climate
is
of
saying that he would
international cricket.
probably go Javier Royal also.
But we can't be carrying too much spinners though.
Spinners. That's the
I
thing.
mean, at the end of
Or,
the day, we're going to
or,
Australia.
or else you're
So
going to have to go out with a spinner that can probably do some batting, if anything. Somebody like a Fabian Allen who would have proven that he can pick a couple of wickets.
Lennox, I don't know how many individuals you can allow, but I see two people. I see Sachin and somebody else lurking.
I don't see it pop up.
Well, they're in the
We should-
private chat. In the chat, I see Sachin and Truth Finder.
I don't know who Truth Finder is. I want to talk. Hello, sir. I want to talk. Hold on, Sachin. Let me see if I see you. Go again, Sachin. I am only seeing sports. I am only seeing Sheldon, Marlon, Mr. Lover. Truth Finder, you need to identify yourself so we can know who you are in the comment section. Sachin, that is you now. All right. Yeah, we soon come to you now, Sachin. As you were saying, Marlon. So, yeah, you hear me, Marlon?
Yes, I just mute my mic to listen. I'm hearing you.
Oh, yeah. I was saying you're finished, so you're bringing those guys as reserves, right?
Yes, I'm finished.
All right, good to hear from Marlon. Before we let Sachin come on, Sheldon, anything else you want to pick up based off what Marlon said? Then we'll hear Sachin.
Yeah, I would carry Brooks. I would carry Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hope doing enough now as a batsman. He has picked up his strike rate. If, for instance, King gets injured, right? I would be tempted to either slot in Hope or Brooks. It could be a toss-up. In terms of the spinner, I'm not sure Mote. I was looking at Mote. I'm not sure Mote have done enough. Allen, he only did well for me on the low pitch when the ball was racking in. Right. So I ain't carrying him. I had Paul up front as my replacement. What do you call that? All-rounder. But he looking like he about to get injured. So I don't know.
Why would he say looks as if he's gonna get injured? And the last we saw him, he got half century.
Paul actually recovering from a knee injury. That's why he did not bowl in the last game he played, or the two games he played.
But he got an half century, you know.
So right, so
recovering.
I might be tempted to play. Unfortunately, Shepherd. And that is it.
All right, Sheldon. I hear you. Yes, Sachin, and then we hear Mr. Lover again.
Sachin gone, man.
Sachin, I don't know.
Yeah, Sachin didn't stay too long.
Hold on. Oh, I need to add him again. Yes, Sachin, you hearing us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. What say you?
I say for those first two matches that we play against Australia, those will be key for us to going into the World Cup, because if you look at it, how much people on this team that we have in Australia played more than 50 T20s?
Maybe just probably Holder and maybe Lewis. Probably poor. I don't know.
Pooran also.
I'm probably Pooran. Not much.
And maybe Hetty.
Yeah, and probably.
think Hetty. I think yeah. I think Puran Hetty,
Mm-hmm.
Holder and
Older.
Lewis.
Yeah.
But my question is, earlier I was driving and I was on the thing and I heard Sheldon say Russell didn't get selected because he didn't do anything recently. So
Mm-hmm.
Lewis got selected because he did something recently.
And because he's the best batsman in the team.
Because he missed the 60.
He's also the best batsman in the team. The best batsman in the team. Say Sheldon.
I mean, I won't argue that Lewis is
Mm.
probably our most experienced batsman in the team.
And he has the
But
highest average.
yeah,
Mm.
but based on what he said Russell wasn't selected because Russell didn't perform.
Mm.
So when did Lewis perform for him to get selected, and did Lewis pass a fitness test for him to get selected?
I mean, Sheldon answered that a couple well, he answered that just now saying that um Haynes was able to select. I don't know if I'm going to misquote him. You will let me know if I'm misquoting him. Haynes basically was safe in selecting Lewis because all the other players would need to do a fitness test very shortly because, you know, see, probably none of them would have done a fitness test in the last 6 months. So everybody going to need to do a fitness test. So he got in on that grounds. I think is what Sheldon is saying. I'm not too sure when the fitness test will be done before the World Cup, but I think that is what Sheldon was saying that
But
everybody going to have to be assessed.
yep, but as you said, I hope Lewis goes to that World Cup, and if he does open, he proves all of us wrong and score
Exactly.
runs.
Yeah.
Because I I like based on current performance, I rather see King and Mayers open, but they will open with Lewis, and I hope he performs.
Oh yeah. I think that is the same. That is the sentiment that quite a few of us share. That based on what the two guys would have done, they deserve to open. But something in the back of our minds telling us that Lewis will play in the first two games alongside Mayers, probably King at three, and then Pooran Hetty or Hetty Pooran. So
And another thing
let's see how it
I've
go.
seen in the comments, my last thing before I let somebody else go. Are we playing
Mm.
two spinners in Australia or one?
Well, it seems as if we are going two spinners. We're going every what's his name from
Yannick
Trinidad
and
there
So right,
again? Hussein. We're
Hussein.
going Hussein and Correa because the pace at the seamers would probably be Alzari, Joseph, Obed McCoy, Jason Hall, and then Kyle Mears would chip in. So that is four already. And then, I guess that's how you get Yannick Correa and Hussein in. What you're saying, the pitches will be too bouncy and thing. We don't want, we shouldn't use two spinners.
I just don't think. I mean, Karaya played four T20s in his career, right?
Mm,
I'm not taking away anything from his experience. I know he played a lot of
mm.
first class games, but do we want to just feed him to the Lions and put him, hey, you go, you bowl on Australia pitches and try to win us a game?
The problem is, Sachin, I don't like it one bit, I don't like it at all. But the fact that he's there as the extra spinner, that is why, he has to get in. That is why before they even selected the squad, I was saying that I don't really like the idea of having the two left arm spinners, but I would have gone Hussein Moti. But the fact that that Moti and think Moti is not there and Karaya is there, he's going to have to bowl. As I said, he probably going to work against us. He doesn't have the experience, and as I said, the batsman probably going to be going at him. But in the back of my mind, he has to play. In the back of
And
my mind.
and one more thing, if we were crazy enough to select Karaya and Lewis,
Mm.
why weren't we crazy enough to select Fabian Allen?
Ah, I,
okay. With
I
this
don't know.
Fabian Allen selection mishap now,
Mm.
you have one left arm spinner who is ranked in the top
Hussein.
10, which is
Mm.
Akil Hussein. At the time, Akil Hussein was doing far much better than Fabian Allen was.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the injury before the World Cup, Fabian Allen dropped off the radar, went missing.
Mm.
So that's
And
why he's not selected. And Akil
plus,
Hussein is probably
But
the
Mr.
frontline
Lover,
spinner.
the
mm,
selection is not between Allen, between what his name is, Hussein
Hussein.
and Karaya. It would be between Karaya and what the next one name? And Allen.
Moti.
Like
Oh,
Hussein
Mm.
picks himself.
Yeah, Hussein is almost a guarantee in the team. Like no one, I don't see any spinner coming and just
That's the first name on
putting
the
him on the
paper
team.
where the bowling is concerned,
Yep.
alongside Joseph. But
Thank you for not.
and
Thank you for noticing
funny
me.
enough, Moti was actually playing cricket, was actually bowling better than Fabian Allen also, because remember Allen wasn't even playing. It's just the other day we found out that the personal reasons that he was quoting is because he lost a parent or something like that. So you know
And
it's not
if
like he was next in line, because Moti was also there performing a little better than Fabian also.
and I remember
Let me
what's
ask a
his name?
question.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question though. So personal reasons didn't affect the IPL.
Apparently not. And quite a
IPL
Those are
big
the
money.
quite a
That's
few of
little
these
money.
guys that quoted personal reason, we also heard their names being called to play in the what was this league that got postponed? Was it the Lanka Premier League?
Yeah.
And because of the unrest over there, it got postponed. And these guys' name that said they were unavailable to play a couple of series for West Indies prior to that, their names were called to play in that league. So we know how that go
But
already, and how people come out of the woodwork when it's close to World
wasn't
Cup time.
wasn't Fabian's personal problem his dad passing away?
Yeah, apparently his dad was battling cancer and then he passed. So that's why I don't even talk too much on that, because
Yeah.
that's why I basically leave him out, and mostly talk about Russell's situation and thing. And
And Mr. Lover, I
mm,
or no, not Mr. Lover. Like everyone on here. Remember Haynes said Yannick could be a three format player, right?
mm.
Let's say we go to that ODI World Cup. Do we play all three spinners, Hussein, Moti, and Yannick? Because you can't drop Hussein. Moti
Mm.
so far has 8 wickets in 4 matches at an average of 16. And Yannick, he just made his debut also.
So so that is the thing now, Hussein, as I say, will be the first choice pick. When it comes on to Moti, we know that Moti, is definitely above him. So it's, I guess, leading up to that, the battle will be between those two. Because even though it's going to be played in India, not too sure if they're going to use the three spinners. So it's going to be two. Hussein picks himself, and I guess leading up to that World Cup, they will decide between the two who should be selected.
I I believe that Correa will play. The fact that he's a batting all rounder or bowling all rounder, he also bats too. So that will also help him get selected
But
over
but,
Moti.
but my problem is this, what are we selecting him as? Are we selecting him in the all-rounder slot, or are we selecting him as a bowler that's going to bowl 10 overs? Because if we're comparing him and Moti, Moti is there to bowl 10 overs once everything is going well. So are we selecting Correa to bowl 5 overs and then bat and share it with somebody, or is going to bowl 10 overs?
he has to bowl 10,
Because
in my opinion.
because his batting shouldn't have anything to do with that. Then if he's going all 10 overs, we should be. Hold on, let me mute your mics, guys, until I finish. Yeah, if you're going to ask him to bowl 10 overs, that means he's in the team as one of the specialist bowlers. So his batting shouldn't bowler as one of the specialist bowlers. So his batting shouldn't have anything to do with it, based on how I see it, Mr. Lover. I don't know. These guys are known Jack Callis, that can make the team
Lennox.
as a batsman or as a bowler. So
Yep. Lennox, I got a question. Do you have a computer in front of you that you could pull up Yannick Correa so far in the 4 ODI matches that he played? What was his numbers? Oh, Lennox left.
no, man, I am here. The camera thing just got plugged up, but I'm still here.
Yeah, I was asking you if you have a computer that you could pull up Yannick's 4 or 3 matches that he played so far
Yeah, I'm about to check.
in ODI and what's his numbers.
Yeah, I'm about to check. So in the meantime, Mr. Lover, as I was saying, How would you do that though in terms of Yannick Correa and Mort, because you would be looking at 10 overs, that's the thing, you would be looking at them bowling 10 overs. Mr. Lovergan.
Listen, Lennox, I think we're looking too far down the road. A lot could happen between
Leading
now
up
and
to
the
that.
20.
Yeah.
Like a few months is a long time in cricket, so I wouldn't be looking that far down the road.
Yeah.
I think we should be concerning ourselves with the T20 World Cup that is weeks away.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Sheldon, what say you? I haven't heard you in a little while. What's going on over there?
Right, I'm right here. Now, Yannick, I don't anticipate Yannick playing in the World Cup, but we need Yannick to get the players ready, right? We need a leg spin. We need a leg spinner to bowl in the nets, because remember, we have had a problem against leg spin.
Mm-hmm.
So who prepares our players to battle leg spin if we don't carry a leg spinner?
So are we going into the actual World Cup to prepare for that?
You had to prepare on Australian pitches.
No, man, I definitely understand that, and that they have to do some work on the pitches, but do we just put a man in the spot because you want to use him as a training bowler?
Well, we go in with one spinner. We definitely go in with one spinner on the Australia pitch, right? And that spinner will have to be Hossain, right? Because I don't see us playing two spinners, because spinners don't traditionally do well on their first tour in Australia, right? So that somebody is going to get licks, and Correa more likely to get licks than Hussein, because I mean they might have a little more respect for Hussein, and then Hussein may have met some of them already. So, So I go in with 4 fast bowlers. Well, 4 between medium and fast bowlers, and which could be Holder, McCoy, Joseph, and Smith, right? Myers as my 6th bowler, and Hossain as my spinner.
All right. I hear you. Let me just quickly give out the stats that Sachin was asking for. So in those 3 ODI matches, it was 3. I thought it was 2 for Yannick Correa, based on what I'm seeing on ESPN Cricket Info. So in those 3 ODI, they have 3 wickets. He would have picked up 3 wickets. Best he got 2 for 77, right? And the average is 50.66. Economy of 6.08. So that is what I'm seeing here for the ODI. I thought it was 2 games that he played. He played all 3 games against New Zealand.
He played all 3 games, but only batted twice.
Yeah. Where the bowling is concerned, though, he has bowled in all 3 matches, and he has picked up 3 wickets, and that's at an average of 50.66. As we know, that's the ODI, and the economy of 6.08. Right. So that is where that is concerned, because he's been selected as a bowler. So I think we have to look at it like that. As I said, where the batting is concerned, he batted in only 2 innings, and averaging 53. Averaging 53, as we know, he got that half century there. So it's a bowling that I am thinking that if we are bringing him, it's a bowling that we need to take a look at, because if he's going to play, he's going to have to bowl 10 overs, because he's not going to. Pooran is there, Hetmeyer is there, Brandon King, Mayers, whether they want to open with Lewis, Powell, all of these guys are there to bat. So if he's there, he's going to have to bowl 10 overs as a spinner. So I'm not too sure how we're going to work that. No, the reserves has not been named as yet. They have not named the reserves as yet. So I don't know. I don't know, Star. But that is where we're at as we speak. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Well, one thing I know for sure, one person named definitely in that 11, Joseph.
Joseph, yeah, Joseph has been, apart from the way in which Brandon King and Kyle Mears took center stage with the bat. Joseph, he has definitely impressed me probably the most in the CPL. And it's really weird how he just got his T20 debut just the other day. I know we always don't trust him with sometimes with the short pitch bowling and all of that, but based on what he would have done in franchise cricket, I thought he would have gotten his international T20 debut a little earlier. But let us see. Let us see. One thing is for sure, he's going to get paid. He's going to get a lot of assistance on the pitch there in Australia. But it's going to be pacey. So let us see how things will work out for him. When it comes on to the coaching staff, how many persons on here we have that believe that after this World Cup it's time for Simmons and his team to go? Most of the videos that I'm putting up, I see quite a few persons commenting underneath it that it's time for them to go, for Simmons and his team to go. They are not worried about CWA having to pay them off each time a soccer coach without them completing their tenure. You have to pay off the salary. So do we have a couple of persons on here that believe that CWI need to make the move if we have a World Cup campaign that is dreadful like last time around, or do we let him live out the course of his contract? What's the situation?
Remember, Simmons' contract was supposed to end last year, but they extended it.
By what, 2 years?
I don't know by how much, but hopefully, if they don't do good this World Cup, he's out. Roddy Estrick now, he's the only coach that I think we would keep. Maybe give him head coach and Shiv and Kirtley as the coaching assistant, but other than that, no.
Yeah, sure. Roddy
Look
Estrick
at
as
it.
coach.
Look at it. The bowlers have been doing good and getting us out of tough situations, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree where the bowlers, they have definitely been the bright spark, but I don't know if stepping up from a bowling coach into the actual head coach position is a little bit tedious. But let us see.
I think he deserved
When
it
say give him
because
presentation no Paul a chance. Yeah?
I think he deserved the head coach position just to give him a good send off because he's been doing good. The bowlers been doing better than they were. So why not give him? Maybe just give him for 2 years also.
If
But we want continuation. That is the thing. We want continuity. We don't want just looking at 2 years. We want a point. So let me ask you a question. Do you guys think that West Indies should probably try something like what the other teams are actually doing, investing in people that were actually high caliber cricketers that has decided to take up coaching roles? Or I don't know, because the problem is quite a few of our top players that leave out of West Indies cricket, they don't live on a good note with the board. So you look around the world, you see you see Ganguly and Royal Dravid. You see all of these guys, that they are playing roles in the country's cricket, and not so much where West Indies is concerned. I don't know. Should we be looking at appointing one of these people, or what?
I think we should, but do we have the money to do it? No. Because remember, these high caliber coaches is gonna demand more money.
No, man, no, man. When I say high caliber, I am saying, do we appoint one of our so-called legends of West Indies cricket, like somebody like I see people calling for Brian Lara, people like a Lara, people like those guys those guys that would have dominated the playing the game, and then they are interested in coaching. Do we look to? Are you saying we can't pay them any at all? Remember, they wouldn't have much coaching experience, so I don't think they would be able to demand too much of a salary.
I mean, I think we could try it. They won't do any worse than what our current coaching staff doing. So for
Mr.
me,
Lover.
after the World Cup, if Simmons doesn't go, I think Monty Desai needs to go. I don't know who this guy
Martin
is.
coach.
Yep.
Mm.
I don't know where he comes from, who he is.
I think they brought him in from India, but I'm not really. I think the argument was that he's here to fix the batting problem that we have with spin.
Yeah, that wasn't fixed. We all saw that. That's not fixed.
Yeah, we don't see it at all. Are we playing any ODIs in Australia? No, it's going to be 2 T20s and 2 Test matches. We're not having any ODIs right now, so it's 2 T20s and 2 ODIs that we are going to be playing.
And another concern, well, I have for our players, we didn't get any rest since from the Netherlands series to now.
But
None
have we
rest.
done anything to deserve any rest though?
But Lennox, you
Yeah.
play that much matches and travel that much, your body is gonna wear out sometime. Guys, look, CPL done only a couple days ago, and we already playing Australia in 3 days.
I mean, we have been calling for cricket. We're the same one that have been calling for cricket. I get what you're saying though. It's not a lot of downtime in between games. But I guess this is when they were able to pack them in.
Sachin, I guess you're not old enough to remember when a tour used to be 3 months. Men used to go on 2 and 3 month tour, right? Where we used to play 5 tests. You used to play counties. You used to play countries. You used to play all of that, right? Now, and besides that, if I'm not mistaken, I think Simmons' contract probably finishing sometime around next April or some kind of thing like that. Yeah?
Maybe next April.
Yeah.
And when is the ODI World Cup? It's sometime. It's sometime next year.
I think the ODI World Cup is probably after that, because the ODI World Cup can be early because they have a break for the IPL.
October, November. It's basically gonna be same time as this,
right? But I don't see we have a choice with the coaching staff. I personally say all you want. I don't think that Simmons has done as badly as people make him out to make it believe that he has done, right? Because the test side has been winning, right? The test side has been doing pretty good.
Indeed.
Because during his tenure between we win against Bangladesh, we win against England, we won against a couple sides, we draw a few things. So we haven't been that bad in ODI, we haven't been that bad in tests. We have been abysmal in T20, and that is because we was transitioning from our top stars, Pollard and Narayan and all of them was Bravo and all of them was on the way out, and the new players now gaining the experience to become top class performers.
No, but Narayan hasn't played in a while, and even when we were not transitioning, when we have Pollard and all of them guys, we weren't winning anything. Narayan hasn't played in a while though, but all of these guys, we weren't winning anything with Pollard and all of them guys.
I'll say this: I've been giving Simmons his hard time, right? But if we put Simmons with a better batting coach, and Roddy Aswick has been doing his job, I'm gonna leave him out of it. If we put him with a better batting coach, better assistant, like better coaching staff, will he do better? Will we see the team improve?
It's a possibility, because as Sheldon always say, Phil Simmons don't necessarily walk to the players when they are training and say, all right, this is how you play this shot, this is how you do this. He's there to organize. I mean, if anything goes wrong, Mark, he's the one that has to deal with all of that. But he's not necessarily there to coach the batsmen. So as I say, the guy Monty, he's actually the batting coach that should be looked at like that. But you know, it's Simmons' coaching staff. So if one is failing, then you know they're going to look at the head coach. But as I said, maybe if we get a better batting coach, you know, who to tell? I don't even know, yeah, man.
If we remember correctly, gentlemen, the first time Simmons came to coach the side was after he was coaching Ireland successfully. And they were beating us in the World Cup, right? Simmons came in, he took us to the 2016 World Cup, and he won that World Cup, right? Then he and the president had the issues because he was quite outspoken. He was talking about interference, and he was sacked.
Yeah.
He went, he did some work with Afghanistan. Afghanistan was also putting licks on us. Afghanistan was also putting licks on us under Simmons. Again, he had an issue with Afghanistan where he said that they wanted to interfere in the team, and his coaching there became untenable.
Yeah, I remember all of that.
We brought him back. So that is not to say that Simmons was failing elsewhere, you know, and we hired him here. You know. He was doing very well elsewhere, and he chose to come home.
He wasn't failing. So is it fair for us to say that he is not getting any interference? No, because we haven't heard anything in all these years. Is it fair to say that all of these selections and all of these games that we have lost definitely can be heaped, as well as the games that we have won, and Simmons alongside his coaching staff and the selectors, right? And not from the president or the political people involved. Is it fair for us to say that he's not being, you know, the political people are not dipping up in it right now?
All right. Let me make this point. When we had no selection panel at the start of this year, and Simmons and Pollard picked the side
the B team. I know where you're going with this. We beat the B team.
Against England, right? Which was a new team because Bravo was gone. Most of the World Cup players was gone, right?
Yeah.
They selected a team missing Hetmeyer, missing Lewis, which is our two of our experienced batsmen, and we beat England, who was at the time ranked number 1 in the world. Sachin could say as much as he want about B team. We did not have some of our best players either. So we was also playing a B team, right?
Yeah. We're hearing you.
We won that series. We won that series, right? And most of those players, remember that's where Myers got his start as a T20 player. Remember, that's when Powell was brought back. Right?
Man, those guys definitely. I have to give kudos to whoever gave them the call, but those guys did the work to get the call. Ravman Powell was dominating on the T10 scene. He was doing well in T20 franchise also. Kyle Mayers, they had tried him at the top of the order for Barbados Royals last year, and he made, I think it was 89 in the last game of the CPL, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, they had tried him. So, kudos to them for making the call, but you know it wasn't a fresh decision to say these guys are going to put them in and try and see if they can work. Those guys did the work in the positions, and as you said, it's good that they reached out and gave them the call and got them in the team, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They was brave enough to make that call. They had an idea because Simmons at that point had an idea who could have been built to as the replacements. So he has the knowledge, right? Of course, it will take time to build the players, right? It will take time to
Yeah.
build the players. But of course, we the West Indian fans want instant success. We want a man play his first 10 T10s and then all of a sudden do well on the international level. Remember, we do not have a domestic T20 league.
Excuse me.
While all the other countries, India have one, everybody have one, where they play domestic T20 cricket for men's skills to improve. Our players
We are behind the ball in all
right, our players
sectors of
playing
the world, yes.
CPL, and besides that, they playing club cricket.
I hear you. I hear you, Sheldon. So looking forward to the World Cup now with these two games against Australia. I am just here wondering, you know, but well, Sheldon already indicated that Evan Lewis will play. Evan Lewis will definitely play, and we are hoping that he will get some runs. I didn't hear your comment on this, Sheldon. Are you one of them that think that Nicholas Pooran definitely needs to keep and bat up the order, or you believe they need to bring in somebody else to keep?
Pooran will be keeping for the World Cup, right? And he batting at number 5 behind Hetmyer, right? Now, I had no problem with Pooran not keeping in the lead up before because he had just taken over captaincy and he needed to assess players and so on. And sometimes behind the stump is not the best place to assess players as a captain, right? He needed to build into his job so that I can't knock him for that, having taken over captain and looking on to see what, making decisions, seeing how it go work out and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
He's a pretty good outfielder also. He took some good catches in the outfield.
Yeah, he's smooth in the outfield. He's smooth in the outfield, but I don't know who is making these decisions to have Shea Hope keep all 50 overs in an ODI game and then go and open and have Pooran on the field. That don't make any sense.
Rizwan does keep an open also.
Yeah, because Rizwan does it. That doesn't mean that we need to do that.
No,
and we have Shea Hope that is a definite pick in the team.
So it's not alien to that people keep wicket and
No, but what I am saying, you have to look for the best scenario and the best form of advantage that you can get. That is the thing, and it's probably not the most ideal thing. Even though Shea Hope is probably one of the fittest men we have in the Caribbean playing, it's not the most ideal thing to have him keeping all 50 overs when you have Pooran out there on the field. Or it's because Pooran is not an half spinner.
Nah, I think I'll let Sheldon answer that ODI question just now, but I think for the T20, Pooran should be behind the stumps. I'm not saying because he has more help with. There's Holder there, or Holder's experience. There's Rovman. Rovman's the vice captain. I'm not saying these two guys are experienced and they're up there, but there's Kalmers and Shimron Hetmyer who had experience captain in a team. So Pooran those could be out of this young team, quote unquote young team that we have. Those 5 guys could be the brains of the team, like while on the field. So Pooran doesn't need to be like on the outfield to do everything.
I think Sheldon was saying that in the initial phase he didn't have an issue with that when he just took over the captaincy, but going forward he needs to be behind the wicket. But it doesn't make any sense to me to have Puran on the outfield in the T20 game based on the makeup of the T20 team. He has to keep. It just has to keep. Just doesn't make any sense. So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that to see how it goes. Is Sheldon Cottrell in the playing 11? Or is it Obed McCoy, Jason Holder, Alzari Joseph alongside Kyle Mayers? Is Sheldon Cottrell in that team?
Not in my initial team.
Mm-hmm.
I would want him to probably build some more fitness first.
That is my problem. I am not too sure if it's fit.
Before I throw him in. Now, Cottrell, only value to the team is to take early wickets in the power play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if Cottrell doesn't get wickets in the power play, when he comes back, he tends to be very expensive. He tends to be very expensive. So that if he's not at full fitness, I'm not playing him, right? I would rather try Smith as one of my bowlers, bowl Holder and McCoy as my dead bowlers, right? Bowl Smith as my opening bowler and closer to the middle, right? And try to get in a few from Myers in the thing, because remember I have Smith, I have Joseph, right?
That is my main problem with Cottrell. You're rightly summed it up. Usually he's there to pick up wickets in the power play, and when he comes back, if he can be expensive. And I am not too sure if he's fit. I am not too sure if he's operating at full fitness. We haven't seen him in a while, and he didn't really look too fit in the CPL. So I'm not too sure. Not too sure how. But as we speak, I am going Alzari Joseph. I'm going Alzari Joseph, Obed McCoy, Jason Holder. We have Odin Smith in the team also, and we also have Kyle Mayers, who will give me a couple of overs. We might split it between Mayers and Kyle Mayers and Odin Smith, and then we know we have the spinner.
Right.
So who opens?
As we speak, it's going to be difficult because I know Lewis's capability right now, but I don't know where fitness. It depends on the pitch, but I definitely go Alzari Joseph. I don't know if we can probably try Alzari Joseph and Kyle Mayers, or depending on how the pitch is looking, I can probably try Alzari Joseph and the spinner and Akil. But in an ideal situation, if the pitch is just balanced, I would go Alzari Joseph alongside Kyle Mayers probably to open for me. Wouldn't be a problem to have Jason Holder also with the bounce and the movement and thing. But I would probably try Alzari and Kyle Mayers. Yes, Sheldon.
I am bowling Smith and Holder to open. Right? I am keeping back Joseph. I want Joseph as my roving shock bowler. Right? I want Joseph 4 overs, 2 at the death, and I want to be able to call on him to take a dangerous batsman at any time.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not using Joseph up front as a stock bowler, keeping him as a shock bowler. If you understand what I mean.
So do you trust Odin Smith to bowl those 2 overs in the power play?
Yeah. Now, the thing is, right? I'm hoping that if even he goes for any runs, somebody will miscue a shot and he would probably take a couple wickets.
Yeah.
So I'm balancing the runs with wickets with Odin up front, right? Because I definitely know that he likely to travel close to the end. So if I
Oh
gain
yeah.
4 overs from him, he will have to bowl um,
Two in
in the
the power
power
play.
play
Mm-hmm.
and close to anywhere between before over 14,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm not bowling in between over 15 to 20,
Yeah, too much. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Between 15 and 20, I want probably 2 from Joseph, probably 2 from McCoy, and probably 2 from Holder.
Mm-hmm. So that's how you're lining it up. I remember
Yeah.
we have Akil Hussein and those guys, they would have bowled out already though. So what are your thoughts on West Indies only being able to use Akil Hussein as a defensive bowler and not as an attacking bowler? Is it because of how the other bowlers are performing? Excuse me. I thought,
Um, People saying that we using Akil as a defensive bowler, right?
mm,
But that is not so. Akil
mm,
have been taking wickets, right?
mm,
But the thing is, when we when we bowl Akil in the power play, right?
mm.
We don't bowl him as a defensive bowler.
I think what they're talking about is the way in which they set the field when they are using him, when they are using Akil outside of the power play also.
Right. Well, when we bowling him in the middle overs, right? Remember the
Mm-hmm.
middle overs, you're trying to tighten up and
Mm-hmm.
so on, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that if even you ain't get no wickets, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go for runs.
For runs, yeah, definitely.
So you really had to defend in the middle overs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I think they kind of unfair on how things is,
Mm-hmm.
right? They kind of unfair to me, but I mean everybody have to give examples to defend their narrative,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and I think this game Wednesday morning will give us a good idea of how we will set up, how we will line up, because as I said, hold on. As I said, I think they are probably going to be using. They are more than likely going to be looking to get the guys that are going to be playing in the World Cup in this game here. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from there. I'm not too sure. I think the game starts Wednesday morning at 4. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's over there in Australia. So we're definitely going to try and see if we can see a couple of hours of it and let you guys know how it's going. So just before we close, Sheldon, and for the others in the comment section, if you want to go ahead again and give us your playing 11 for the World Cup, Sachin said it's going to be around about 4:10 a.m. If you just before we close, if you want to go in the comment section and give us your playing 11 for the first game in the World Cup, you can go ahead. Who you say you have now, Sheldon?
Lewis, Myers, King, Hetty, Puran, Powell, Joseph, Hossein, Holder, um,
Mm-hmm.
no, Smith, sorry, Smith batting before Joseph. Smith at
Mm-hmm.
7, Joseph at 8, um, Hossein at 9, Holder at 10, and McCoy at 11.
11. All right. And all right, let me see if I can find some of them. As I said, I don't have a problem with people putting Evan in their team. I don't have a problem if he's in there. But as we speak, this is how I am going. I go Mayers and Powell. Not Powell, sorry, Mayers and King. In the event, yeah. Kyle Mayers and King. At 3, we'll go Ravman Kyle Mayers, King. Hold on, just give me a second, guys. Let me put this on. Hmm? Never. All right, so yeah, as I was saying, back to the top. I probably go and go as much as how I don't know how he got into the team. I still going go like this. Brandon, Kyle Mayers, Lewis at the top, Brandon King at 3. At 4 we have Hetmeyer, Poor and 5 can be interchangeable. 6 we have Powell, 7 I go Jason Hall, 8 I go Odin Smith, 9 I go Alzari Joseph, 10 we go believe it or not, Yannick Correa, and 11 Obed McCoy. That is how I would go. That's how I would do it. You know, because as I said, I'm not too sure if Akil Hussein going to be the only spinner there that I will be using. All right, so here you Sheldon. Let me see if I can go through here and read these teams, and then we call it a night. So, Lewis, Mayers, King, Hetmeyer, Pooran, Powell, Smith, Holler, Joseph, Hussein, and McCoy says Sachin. This looks like the team that I had, but this look like about someone is missing, it seems. All right. My conflict that Mary's King have to be in. All right. I'm looking for the playing 11s, guys, as we're about to log off. Powell. Yeah, Powell has been performing, man. So yeah, that is the team that I would use. That's the team that I would use, guys.
Sports
Yeah.
Telebone. While we talking playing 11, we have to also talk about which approach are we going to use. Are we going all out attack? Are we, because that is the most important factor right now.
That is always is not to do.
190 runs. For me, go all out attack and see what happens.
But that is how we know how to do. That is how we always do. And then after we lose 5, 6, 7 wickets, we have probably Joseph and Hussein at the back end trying a thing. That is how it always go. We always try to go all out attack from the top, and then we get ball out. But you know, if we have Brandon King playing at 3, we would be asking him to try and bat as deep as possible. But with all of those guys in the top 6 that we have, as you said, I think it would be good for us to try and see if we can go on the front foot and try and get as much runs as possible. All right, Bowen said Kyle Mayers, Lewis, King, Hetmeyer, Pooran, Powell, Holder, Simit Hussein, Alzari, and Cottrell. All right, we need to take the approach that will see us not have 50 dots in a T20. Well, any approach that can give us that, then probably that can work too. So we're going to leave it right here for now, guys. Shout out to all those that came on the live: Sachin, Sheldon, Marlon. Who else we had? We had Mr. Lover. We had who else we had on the thing? To all of those that came on, shout out to you, to all of those who were in the comment section. We are still over 100 people viewing, and I am sure we are still not on 50 likes. So just hit the like button while you leave. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you can look out for another video bright and early tomorrow. All right, so big up on yourself, my peeps. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the Sunday evening. It was definitely a pleasure talking to you guys. All right, blessings. Big up on yourself. Sheldon, blessings. Thanks for coming.
Yes, good night all. Thanks for having me, Sports Telebone.
Yeah, man. Blessings, brother.